mental side is getting to the point where we're beyond thinking that they need more, that they're getting ready for they're getting close to the big leagues, and that's exciting. They have talent, different types of talent, right? Different stuff, but the exciting part is that I think the talent level and the depth of talent is getting to the point where we feel, much better about these guys competing night in, night out against, the National League.
Billy's mentioned, 4 catchers going into camp with Austin Nola on the minor league deal. You made it sound like there's going to be a battle for 2 spots. Do you see it that way? Is Stallings going to be the incumbent starter?
Yeah, I think, with Jacob, we re-signed him. He had a good year last year. He figures to get his starts. We don't know how many, but last year did a really good job. I mean, he did a nice job. He had a really good year. Had a good year with the bat. Got to know our staff quickly. Did a good job on the defensive side. I mean, had a good all-around year. Nola adds a veteran piece also. I always liked him from the other side. So he comes in, he'll come into camp, and we'll get to know him. He'll get to know us, but there's a comfort level knowing where he's been and what he's done. Romo, Goodman, Fulford, 3 young catchers who have been in Major League camp with us. Goodman and Fulford for a year longer than Romo, but all in their own way, I think have shown that they're capable of being Major League catchers. Those 3 young guys have some things they have to clean up, but nevertheless they're closer. And this winter, they've each have their own set of goals and things we put in front of them to handle and work on. And they'll continue to work on that into spring training. So we feel good about those 3 guys. So for me, there's 5, right? I'll throw Fulford in there because he had a good year in Double-A, especially the second half. But he can catch, so don't discount him. But Goodman with his power and his instincts and his feel, and Romo, the all-around talent, I think is something that we feel good about on the catching side.
Spring will obviously tell us a lot, but
Yep.
Could you see a scenario where maybe you're carrying 3 guys to catch?
Potentially, but I would think not. But you never know, right? Depending on how the other position player groups look.
How motivated you feel that your veteran pitchers, Freeland, Marquez, Sensitive, Harden, finish out
I think with 2017, you look back to, that was a long time ago. Freeland, Marquez, and Sensatella were rookie pitchers. They've all, changed, in a lot of ways. As you do, you make adjustments. But I think those guys have been through, all of them now, have been through different types of injuries. And I think they're ready again to get back on the horse and be major contributors again as starting pitchers. And by that I mean durability, go to the post, pitch innings, perform well, keep us in games, and get wins, and get team wins when they start games. Feltner and Gomber. Different careers where they are, but nevertheless, I think accomplished major league starting pitchers. Feltner a long ways the second half. Gomber been pretty steady in a lot of ways, and I think he's ready to again take another step forward in his performance. Yeah, Barry. Well, Barry, I think I think we all knew it was going to be a big sum of money. I mean, that's where it was tracking. I think publicly you heard the $600 million figure, thereabouts, 12, 13 years, whatever. the over 700 was, I think at the moment a little alarming when I first heard it. And right then I saw the number of years, but again, I think and as I sat back and looked at it, the free market system was in play, right? And very talented player with very strong-willed, competitive organizations going for it. That's what happens. Last 15 starts.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the next step for him beyond what he showed us?
Well, I think that, the entire year of, consistent performance, right? Are there going to be, a few hiccups in there? No, everybody does, even the good ones. But, 30-plus starts, innings pitched, ERA, which is viewed a little bit differently in our park, but still a level of pitching performance from April, to the end of the season. That's the next step. And he showed it in a real big sample, right? That's those, like I said, those last 15 starts. He was, again, I think the same guy was in there earlier in the year, but you could tell the confidence and a little bit of the, for lack of a better term, the mental tiger, came out, right? A little bit of a mental tiger came out that was really good to see. I was impressed.
Do you think he's slayed, so to speak, his Coors Field a little bit?
Again, he showed it for me, and some of the early, the big inning stuff we talked about late in the year, we didn't see it. I mean, he got through innings. He got through innings where there was crisis. He got through all lineups, all teams. There was a big hurdle. There was a big hurdle that he cleared. Proud of him. So were the guys. The teammates were impressed. Obviously those of us who were around him every day were really impressed by how he did.
You feel that Donald's getting through a season,
Yep.
pitching well over the 6-month period.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a hurdle for him.
Yeah. Well, I think the hurdle for him was to finish the season and make his starts, and he did. I think the previous 2 years at the end with the back injury, I think he has that figured out, in his off-season programs, which is, something that he took to heart, something that he worked really hard on last off-season. He's going to do the same this year. This is a big year for him. Every year is a big year for players. But I think he's now matured. I think he knows who he is. I think he knows his style and how he gets his outs and how he works through innings and lineups. And that's comforting in a lot of ways. I mean, he's still pushing. He's still, like I said, as far as the younger pitchers who are learning, so is Gomber. But I think he truly knows what he needs to do, and he's quick to make adjustments in game because he knows his delivery, knows his stuff, knows his body. He's in a good spot. He's in a good spot.
You were talking on MLB Network that you expect the veteran slugger to be Kris Bryant this season.
Right.
Talk to me about how you plan to utilize him this upcoming year.
Well, you're right. I mean, for us to go offensively, you need everybody. But there are certain players who have talent that need to do what they're capable of doing. And Kris has been hampered by injuries. He's been hampered by, a couple things physically that has kept him from really being Kris Bryant. So we need him to do that. I envision him just strategically, lineup-wise, to primarily get probably most of his at-bats as a designated hitter. I see him in the outfield, in right field specifically. I see him potentially a little bit at first base. But we have a slew of young outfielders, a slew of them. And they're going to get an opportunity. And I'm counting Nolan Jones in there too. And I'll count Sammy Hilliard in there too at age 30. So we got a slew of outfielders. And Billy's talked about the young guys. But we need Bryant to be Kris Bryant. And he's still, in our opinion, very capable of that. And he'll be the first guy to tell you he's very capable. Now, the proof will be in the pudding once we get going, but he's having a great winter so far. Again, he's very adamant about this off-season conditioning program. He's staying on top of that. Routine checks with our medical staff, our training staff. I talked to him about 10 days ago. He's in a good spot.
About two questions about your first series.
Okay.
First of all, what do you think about the situation of you'll be the first team to play outdoor game in Florida, but in and out minor league spring training stadium?
I've thought about it, but I haven't thought about it a lot. I know that the Rays and MLB will do everything in their power to make it feel as though it's a major league. It will be a major league game. I haven't been to this facility. I haven't, so I don't know. I've seen it on TV. Just from what I've seen visually through TV, it's a nice ballpark. But like I said, as far as the clubhouses, how it's run, all the things outside of the game itself, they're going to be up to major league specifications. The ballpark will be. I've never been there. Will it be cozy, intimate? I don't know.
Same dimensions as Yankee Stadium, so your lefty hitters would like it.
Yeah, we got a few of those. Sam. Yeah, we got some. But the playing surface is going to be great. I think baseball has done this before, whether, during COVID with Toronto, games in Puerto Rico, games in Mexico, games in the Far East. To make it work. For us, it's going to be 3 games. For Tampa, it's going to be 81. So, they're the ones who I think have to, probably make the adjustment. But, it'll be a nice little diversion from the truck, in a good way. And that's not. Listen.
Just as a quick follow-up, do you have any compassion for them?
Yeah. Well, I
want to beat them. But.
Yeah. I have. Yeah. It was, obviously tragic what happened to the Trop. But life stuff happens, and you move on. And I know that everybody's going to, put their best foot forward to get this done the right way. So I don't have any apprehension about this not going well. I think it's going to go. I think it's going to be fine.
Thank you.
You saw pitching that was better than people as far as the young guys coming through. Do you feel like you're almost at the point where, especially with the young guys coming and the guys you have coming back, that maybe you're starting to pitch?
Yeah, it's when I first got here, we didn't know about those guys, how they're going to do it, but they stepped up and did a great job. Now I think we're to that point where we feel better about the group, and knowing these guys a little bit like I do, whether it's Gabriel Hughes, Dolander, Palmquist, Sullivan, and then go to the relievers, Halverson. The talent level has risen, so that's encouraging. That's the encouraging part of all this.
Billy mentioned, Tyler Kinley, obviously he's got closer experience, but he rattled off a list of the young guys in Vodnik, even a Zach Agnos.
Yeah.
Do you see, there being any battle there? And do you learn anything
for
from
sure. There is. I think that's the thing that stands out for me is the competition amongst, I would say, a couple of things. The bullpen competition is going to be fierce. It's going to be fierce. The outfield competition is going to be fierce. When you talk about Veen, Fernandez, Benny Montgomery will be in camp, but he'll probably more likely go back to the minors. Fernandez, Beck, Jones. These are guys who are trying to put their, put their best foot forward. But the relievers, as far as a dedicated closer, just yet, we don't know. I thought Halverson did a nice job. There's a couple slip-ups, but I have the memory of him striking out Max Muncy with the bases loaded in Dodger Stadium for a save. And I also have memories of the next night too. But you learn from that. But I like the stuff, and I like what our player development people have said about it. Victor, Victor got some saves. Victor's got a good arm. I remember the check swing, no check swing to Oscar Hernandez. These are things that closers are built on. Agnos, haven't seen him. Can't wait to see him. I hear him great thing. Jaden Hill, Peralta, Chevy G, Jimmy Herget, Tyler Kinley, Justin Lawrence. It's better. It's a better group. It's a better group.
Excited to get Cal Karras in camp as well?
I think he's coming. Most valuable player of the California, of the Northwest League. It's like winning your conference championship in football. It's an automatic invite. Win your league MVP.
We talked a lot about pitching.
Yeah.
Beyond cutting down the strikeouts and chase offensively, beyond that, we talked about it ad nauseam.
And other clubs are talking about that too, as you know.
What would you like to see the offense do in 2025 beyond
those two things? Yeah. Well, it sort of goes hand in hand a little bit, but I think I would like to think that we can push the envelope a little bit more on the bases. I think we run the bases well. I think we can run them better. I'd like to see us try to steal more, but again, that's a little scoreboard dependent, and that last year was a little bit difficult, but I'd like to push it a little bit more there if possible, but again, it's going to depend on the personnel. Traditional stats, on base percentage, but that goes hand in hand with a little bit of the chase and the strikeouts. Situational hitting, as 30 teams talk about it, being more proficient, improve our rate there. Man on third, less than two, getting guys over, a little bit of, moving guys along. And that's, probably the meat and potatoes of what we're trying to do. Okay, guys.